guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to transfer an image from Cricut Design Space with transfer vinyl onto a canvas. So you guys can make these for wedding gifts, Mother's Day, graduation, a welcome home gift, just for decorating your kid's room. These would be a great art project for the kids for the summer. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our Cricut Design Space, and you're going to start a new a new project here. So what you're going to do is come to Images, or you can go down in the link below and I'll have it already shared. So what I'm going to do is, if you notice, you go to Images, I didn't type anything else, and there's all the stuff that just kind of pops up. You'll notice right here, Home Sweet Home, and it's access, so you do have to have access, so it makes it free. They also have these cute little Cricut guides that I was thinking about doing on canvas as well. So, but look how cute this is. The mountains are calling and I must go. That one would be cute. The I love you to the moon and back. But I really like the Home Sweet Home and want to try that one out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this and insert image. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to downsize it. So I'm going to come up over here to the little arrow and I'm going to start downsizing. So my canvas is 8 by 10. And it may be, 8 by 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my canvas sideways, so then the length is the 10 and the 8 is the width. So what I'm going to do is downsize this a little bit here, so that way it'll fit onto my canvas. So what I'm going to do is I just take my ruler to my canvas, which you can't see me now, and I'm just going to say, okay, so right now I have it about, let's do 8.5. So right here you can see that this is 8.5 and then 6, 7. So if I did 8.5 and then 6, 7, I think that's still a little bit too big. So I'm going to come down to probably about 7. Let's see, I'll probably come to about 7 and then 5.5. So I'm just bringing that in about like that. So if I come, it'll be 7 and then 5.5. So I think that's going to be perfect for me. So this is going to go on the 8 by 10 canvas, like I said. So this is where I'm going to leave my size, and I'm going to share it down below if you want to use it as well. So what we're going to be using today is the Cricut transfer vinyl. You could use regular vinyl if you wanted to, and then just rip it off, but I'd rather use my stencil. So the next step I'm going to do, you don't need to reverse it, nothing like that. It needs to be the cut image. Everything's just ready to go. So we're going to go to Make It. And then from here, you can see it's right there, perfectly fine. So I know that I need to cut my transfer tape at least 6 by 7. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it 7 by 8 is what I'm going to do. I'll either cut it 8 by 8 or 7 by 8 just to make sure it's all going to be in line here. I'm going to get that on my mat. Like I said, we don't need a mirror, nothing like that. The next thing we're going to do is hit continue. And I'm going to turn my machine on, and I'll meet you at the machine. So we're over here at the machine. We're ready to go. So the vinyl that I'm using today is the Cricut transfer vinyl. Looks just like this. But like I said, you could use regular sheets of vinyl if you wanted to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this open, get it on the mat, and then we'll load it. Got my transfer vinyl on my mat, and I just went ahead and cut it about 9 by 12. I just had it, that way I had enough space. So I went ahead on my... Alright, I'm going to hit go. So I went ahead on my design space and moved my image over a little bit. So that way we had a little bit of room on the outside, so that way we can stick it on the canvas. I'll show you more what I mean once we get over to the canvas. Okay, so now that we have it cut out, what we're going to do is just pull it off of the mat here. You can weed it while it's on the mat, whichever way you want to do it. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling out the letters. So I'm going to start finding letters because we don't need these pieces. Normally these are the pieces we would use, but we want to use what you call the negative. So I'm just going to run through here and pull all of these letters out. I am going to use the contact paper from the Dollar Tree to get this picked up and then put on here. Now I could probably pick it up and carefully lay it down and then just pick these pieces up and put them back, but it'd just be a whole lot easier to use the contact paper. But you don't have to. You can move that. Now remember, you don't have to just use this. I'm teaching you this for anything, so you can do this with pretty much any of the images in Design Space. So what I'm going to do is get us a nice piece cut off of here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way across. Alright, so I'm going to lay this flat again. So I can figure out how big I need this to be. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it off right about here. Because I don't need it to go all the way across here. So now what I'm going to do here is I don't need all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and trim away some of this here, just leaving about an inch or so all the way around. So that way I can put it on my canvas. About like that, just so it kind of gives me a little bit to set on my canvas. So just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my contact paper on there. I'm going to take my contact paper here, try to center it up here, just like that. Then I'll lay the rest of this flat, just like that, just so we can kind of get it to pick it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scraper here and I'm going to get this varnished on here really good, so that way it'll pick everything up. The things I need to focus on more is just the little pieces like in the E, the S, the O, those pieces, because I need to make sure that those are going to be picked up. So I'll go all the way around here, because everything else is just in one piece, but these pieces are going to be by themselves and need to be picked up. So just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go like this, and hopefully everything is on here. So I'm just going to kind of push it like this. Alright, just like that. What we're going to do is we're going to take our canvas. This one still has the plastic. This one's by Master Touch from Hobby Lobby. You get a pack, I think it's like 4 or 5, and they're just a couple dollars. Super affordable. You can get them at Michael's, Amazon, Joann's, I'm sure. Pretty much any art supply. I believe even Walmart has these. So these are those really thin canvases. So I'm going to put it down just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and try to center this up. Go ahead and carefully get everything pushed down nicely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use my Cricut tool again to just kind of push this out, making sure everything goes down nice. We want it to be down really good because I don't want any paint to go underneath. All right, so once you get that down, you're just going to carefully pull back your contact paper nice and slow. Because it's this canvas, it's going to want to try to pull it back, but just nice and slowly, pushing down as you're going along. So you can take your Cricut tool here if you wanted to, and just be pulling and buffing out. All right, so once you have it off, you're just going to go all over it again, just making sure you're pushing out any bubbles, making sure everything is flat so that way the paint cannot go underneath. So now we're ready to paint our canvas. Now, what I'm going to use is gold, and this you can get from Walmart. You know, this is probably a really old one, Deco Art, I'm not too sure, Hobby Lobby. But you just want, you don't have to do these colors, this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a gold. And like I said, you can pick these things up at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to put a little bit here. And I'm not using my Tim Holtz Media Mat because I've noticed it glares whenever I try to use it to show you guys something, so it don't work out for me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm using some Illustrated Faith acrylics as well. I'm just using what I have on hand. So this is going to be for the Home Sweet Home. I'm going to put a little bit down here. All right. So as I need more, I can just always come back. I think I put way too much gold. So now what I'm going to do, right before I'm ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and push everything down one more time. And I'm going to work from side to side. That way I can push. So I'm going to do this side, and then I'll come back and push again right before I do it, just to make sure nothing is lifting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip into my gold here. And I'm going to do my leaves gold. So what I'm just doing is just painting on just like this. just like that. So I'm just going to go through here, not worrying about getting off on the sides because it's not going to matter. So I'm just going to go through here and get all this painted gold. This would be such a fun project for the kids for the summertime. So, you know, that way they can kind of learn to paint a little bit and stuff like that, or a project to do. Because what you could always do, instead of painting this, you could take your pencil and trace all of this. That way then you can come back and paint it. So you could get some canvases prepared for the kids, grandkids. That way they have something to do this summer. So if you were going to be teaching an art class or anything like that for the summer, this would be a great project for the kids. So I'm just continuing to get all of my gold down. Just like that. So I'm just kind of smoothing everything out. Just like that. Now I may come back here in a second and give this a second coat. So I'm going to let that go. Now I'm going to come to this side. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and get this down one more time. Just like that. And you can use an old credit card. Illustrated Faith has the ones like this that look like a credit card, and you can use those as well. So just like that. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get this side with the gold, doing the same thing. All right. This would also make a great housewarming gift. Or if you were going to do something else, you could do one of these for mom really quick for Mother's Day, a graduation gift, wedding gift, things like that. This would make a super cute, look like you hand painted it, and it would be super cute. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that side. I'm going to let these dry, and I'm going to come into the middle. So I'm going to rinse out my brush really quick. All right. Now what I'm going to do is, once again, with the middle before I get started. And what I'll do at this point is I'm going to use my little credit card one, so that way I don't end up bumping any of my other paints. So I'm going to do that. Now if you got any on, you can see I got some gold. You can just take a baby wipe and wipe that right out, no problem. So keep some baby wipes on hand for something like that. So now what I'm going to do is dip into this turquoise here, and I'm going to go ahead and start painting all of these letters. All right, so just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my brush, and I'm gonna come back over here. If you wanna let it set for a while, you can. So, because you really want it to be dry before you try to go over it with the second coat. So, let's see, I'm gonna look at that really quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and dry this just a little bit with my heat gun. I'm just gonna go over this one more time to make sure everything is covered really good. All right, so now once I have all of the paint on here, what I'm gonna do for the next step is we're gonna go ahead and peel this off. So I'm gonna start from one corner and just slowly, because you don't wanna let it dry like that, because then you don't want it to tear up your paint as you're peeling it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away. You could always save this because it is stencil vinyl. You could always put it back on its plastic, pop out these pieces and put them back if you wanted to. What I'm going to do, which you could take a Q-tip, is just take my baby wipe very carefully, and I'm going to come anywhere where it's messed up and go ahead and wipe that and get that fixed. Just like that. Now what I can do is I could come back in very carefully with my paintbrush, and I could come in and get these pieces fixed, just like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this up. I'll kind of speed it up really quick, and we'll be right back. You can either trim it in like a black marker. You could also use a Sharpie or anything like that, but like I said, I use this. This is called Touch. And it's got some like Chinese writing and stuff like that, but it's by Pentel, and like I said, I'll have it linked down below, but it's a couple dollars, but it is pretty much just like a Tombow, and it has like that same type of tip like this. So that's all you need, and just kind of go around it. Now I think this project would be really cute to add some super cute flowers to the bottom like this. So if you had some really cute flowers like this to kind of add, now I'm just kind of showing what I have on hand from where I made my flowers the other day. Flowers like this that you make, but you could do all one color, whatever you wanted to do. You could do several of them, just kind of coming around and add some flowers to those and see how much more you can make this canvas kind of pop out. So I'm just kind of trying to give you guys some examples. You could have painted the entire back side of the canvas one solid color first and then did this. You could have left it where the writing was going to stay white, but you painted these and the white would have came through the canvas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.